Hi there, my name is Michaela. Welcome back to Fandom Pending. Today we're going to be ranking Rey's parents' theories. I've made a tier list here filled with all the theories of Rey's parents. Some of these I talked about in my previous video about the different Rey parents' theories. Some of them are new that I just found out about, so let's get into it. On the side here, you can kind of see the little tier list I made. I try to think of Star Wars meme quotes that would fit with it. So first up, we have this is where the fun begins. These are the theories that I think totally make sense, and they should totally go with it. It should happen. You underestimate my power. These are the theories that I love personally, but I don't think they really quite make sense and not enough for it to be a plausible theory. I've got a bad feeling about this. This is like theories that are kind of on the borderline good or bad. It would just take, seeing it on the screen for it to work out. I don't like sand. This is a theory that's not the worst, but it's not the best. And last but not least, no, that's not true. That's impossible. It's the theory that cannot be true at all. And I just don't like. Let's start off with Palpatine. I think this would have been a really good theory if they set it up from the get-go. Because I remember when I was looking at theories online when The Force Awakens came out, and people were like, oh, it's Palpatine because of this move that Rey does when she's fighting. And that was kind of the only piece of evidence we had. And it's like, well, you weren't really setting up Palpatine, so that's why it kind of falls flat to say Palpatine returned and he's Rey's grandfather. I think it probably would have worked out, but because they didn't set it up correctly, I think if they did set it up, it would have worked, but I don't think it's the worst. Is it the worst? I'm just gonna put it at the worst because the Rise of Skywalker kind of ruined it for me. And then we have Obi-Wan. I like the idea of Rey being the granddaughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's very interesting considering the fact that Kylo Ren is the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, and you would have had both of their grandkids, going at it. That would have been kind of cool. Um, I also like the theory of Corky being Obi-Wan's son, and then Corky being the father of Rey. That would have been kind of interesting. But for Rey to have that lineage of being a Kenobi would have also been interesting. And if they didn't set it up in The Force Awakens, and they kind of, well, in The Force Awakens, you could kind of say it hinted at this theory because when Rey touches Luke's lightsaber and she has the vision, and we hear Obi-Wan's voice, both Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor, so it would kind of work. But I'm just thinking if we had that in The Force Awakens and then The Last Jedi, no, I'm just gonna put it up as I'll probably change it as I go along. But we'll put it as this is where the fun begins, just because the two grandkids of Anakin and Obi-Wan being against each other in this trilogy would have been kind of interesting. Next, we have the reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker. I don't really know how Force Ghosts works in Star Wars, or like Ghosts for that matter, if reincarnation is possible. Um, I'm going to put it at uh, uh I'm gonna put it as I don't like sand. I'm gonna put I don't like sand because well, I don't know how it would work, honestly, if you revealed Rey the is actually Anakin Skywalker reincarnated. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Next we have Captain Phasma. So Captain Phasma, I came across this theory after I made my video on race parents, and I kind of like it. It's really out there, but I like it. So in the extended universe, Luke gets married to a woman named Mara Jade. She used to be an assassin for the Empire. So this theory is that Captain Phasma is actually Mara Jade, and her and Luke Skywalker were married at some point, but and they did have Rey. But then, well, I guess it kind of goes into the Luke theory, but they had Rey, and there was some disagreement there, I guess. I don't know how that would work, but there was some disagreement there. And Captain Phasma eventually went to work for the First Order, and then I don't know if she would have been like a Sith or a Jedi. I think she just would have been like a regular person who just went to the First Order. I think it's kind of interesting as having captive Phasma being Luke's ex-wife. That part kind of interests me, but I don't know how it would have worked if you played it out in the movie because there was no setup at all. I feel like I want to put it between these two. I'm gonna put it here because I'm gonna say if you worked at it in the movies throughout all three movies, maybe I would have liked it, but yeah, I'm not sure. Next, we have Han Solo and Kira. I don't remember Solo all too well. I only saw it once in theaters, but I'm just gonna say that it's interesting. But Rey's really strong with the Force, and they're not strong with the Force at all. And Kira was revealed to be working with Darth Maul. So I don't know if he employed her because she's Force sensitive, but I don't think she's powerful enough to be Rey's mom. I think I like the Captain Phasma theory a lot more um, than Kira and Han Solo. Next up is Ezra and Sabine. Star Wars Rebels is one of my favorite Star Wars media, I think. So I'm kind of biased, and I really love this theory. After The Last Jedi came out, I really thought that they were her parents. And I remember my best friend, I was telling her, "Oh, I think Ezra and Sabine are her parents." And she's like, "Well, that's kind of messed up because they would have abandoned her on Jakku." And I'm like, "Oh, dang, you're right. That is kind of messed up." But I wouldn't have believed it because I'm like, Sabine isn't force sensitive, but Ezra is. But now they're both force sensitive, which was revealed in the Ahsoka series. So I think that would have been cool. But if they did set it up, I think it would have been cool. I think I like it more than the Obi-Wan one. I'm just gonna say that because I'm biased. Next up, we have Jyn Erso. I really thought when the movie first came out, or before I watched it, just when the trailer was released and the movie was announced, I really thought that Rogue One was going to be an origin movie for Rey's mom. I thought that's what it was, and I really thought that Jyn Erso was going to be Rey's mom. I thought this is the whole reason they're making the movie. They're setting it up because you can't explain Rey's parents' backstory in like a quick little scene in the movie, so you have to give them a whole movie. And I remember I thought of this theory and I was so proud of myself because it was like the first theory I ever thought of. And I remember telling my dad before we watched the movie, and then we walked out of the theater because Jyn Erso dies. It's like, well, I guess she's not Ray's mom. And I was like, I guess not. But I love this theory because I was so proud of myself for thinking of it. When did it come out? 2016. I was like in sixth grade. I thought of a theory all by myself. So I'm gonna put in this is where the fun begins. It would have been interesting for Jen to be Ray's mom, I think. Next up, we have the daughter of Darth Vader. Not the daughter of Anakin Skywalker, the daughter of Darth Vader. I have seen some theories saying that maybe Darth Vader got with another woman during his time during the Empire and they had a daughter, and that is Rey. I think it's pretty interesting, but then the age doesn't make sense because Rey is significantly younger than Leia and Luke. So maybe they had a daughter, and then that daughter had Rey. Like, so she would be the granddaughter of Darth Vader. I guess that would be it. But that would be really confusing, to be honest, to say that Darth Vader had a daughter. I don't. I think I like it like about here. It's about here. Not as bad as Palpatine and the reincarnation of Anakin, but it's there. Next, we have a clone of Palpatine. So Palpatine was making clones. All of them were failed. Oh, but guess what? There was one that survived, but it was actually a girl, and she escaped, and now they're going after her. That's what I kind of remember from what I read. So Rey being a runaway clone of Palpatine, which is kind of interesting. If they said this in The Rise of Skywalker and said, "You were Palpatine, or a clone of Palpatine, and you ran away, but you don't remember," that would have been weird. Would it have been better if would it have been better than her being the granddaughter of Palpatine? Maybe, maybe. I don't know. I just think it's down here. I don't think it works at all. I don't think it works. Next, we have Han and Leia. I'm just gonna put straight to the top. It could have worked because I have a soft spot for the extended universe. They could have had it where Kylo Ren was Jason, and then Rey as Jaina, and she's the long lost sister that Han and Leia hid away from Kylo Ren to protect her. That's what I thought, honestly. I thought that's what it was. I'm like, it's so obvious. She's Han and Leia's daughter. It's so obvious, but it wasn't. But I think it still would have worked because it would have gave that familiarity from the extended universe, and it would have pleased all those fans, and especially the new fans. Next up, we have Luke Skywalker. Her being just the daughter of Luke Skywalker, granddaughter of Luke Skywalker, whatever, etc. I like this. Rey and Luke have a lot of similarities with their story in their first movies, you know? And Force Awakens is basically a remake of Star Wars. You have all the same plot points, same story beats. And I think it would have worked to make Rey Luke's daughter because maybe after Luke's Jedi Temple was destroyed, he felt like he's not a good enough father, he's not a good enough Jedi. So he probably hid away Rey on Jakku and left. And Han and Leia know they have a niece somewhere out there. And Kylo Ren knows he has a cousin somewhere out there who could to be a Jedi and potentially defeat him. So when Kylo Ren first hears about some girl traveling with BB-8 and Han Solo, he's like, "Hey, that has to be my cousin that's long lost, and I have to go after her." I think it would have been interesting, but wait, I'm just gonna say I think I like the Ezra and Sabine theory more. Mm, just because I love these characters, I'm gonna say I like it more. But yeah, it's like on the same level. Next up, we have Rey being the clone of. Wait, hang on. So Luke lost his hand in the Cloud City fight against Darth Vader and the Empire Strikes Back. We don't know what happened to his hand, but we do know what happened to his lightsaber. But the theory goes that what if someone found this lost hand of Luke Skywalker and then they made a clone out of it. They used the DNA to make a clone, which is Rey, and that's why Rey's so powerful because she has Luke DNA in her. It it kind of falls into the same category of her being Luke's daughter, but it's so weird and it's so out there that I love it. I just remember it was in a very early article from when The Force Awakens first came out. It's like here between I got a bad feeling about this and I don't like sand. If they would have just said, "You are a clone from Luke's long lost hand," that would have been really weird. Um, I'm gonna put it. I don't know where to put it between here or here. It's just so weird that I love it, but it's not gonna make sense on screen. I'm just gonna put it here. Next up, which is a theory I kind of think makes a lot of sense, is which I keep saying for all of these, is Rey being a student from Luke's Jedi Temple. So the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren destroyed Luke's Jedi Temple, but what if one student survived and that's Rey? And she somehow ends up on Jakku and maybe she stowed away on a stolen ship with these two people and they were like, "Hey, there's this weird kid that stowed away on a ship. Oh, what should we do? Oh, we should say sell her for drinking money," and that's what they did. Maybe those two people who sold her weren't really her parents. Maybe they were just two people on a ship that she stowed away on. I think this would have made sense, and I'm going to put it up here because I think it works. Next up, we have Omega. This theory comes from the Super Carlin Bros YouTube channel. I love this theory so much the first time I've heard it. So, Omega is Rey's mom. So in The Rise of Skywalker, we know that Rey's dad, a clone of Palpatine. This clone of Palpatine ran away, met Omega, and they bonded over the fact that they're clones, and they fell in love, and then they got married and had Rey. I haven't seen The Bad Batch season 2 or season 3, so I don't know how well this theory works. I do know there were a lot of people going after Omega and wanted her, but what if that's because, yeah, because she's a clone, but what if it's also because she was force sensitive? I really like that theory. Oh, plus, Omega has clone DNA in her, which would explain why Rey has all the skills she has, such as being able to pilot a ship and also being able to fight, etc. These are basic clone DNA stuff. And I like this theory because it not only makes sense, but it keeps the part of Rey being a Palpatine canon, and it could still fit in with the main continuity. But I have not seen The Bad Batch season 2 and season 3, as I said before, so I don't know if it makes sense. So let me just look at this one last time. So just be aware, it's not in order, like this is number 1, this is number 2. It's just I like all these in the row, and it's just like it's in that row and it's in that row. Just ranked by row. Yeah. I think her being the daughter of Darth Vader would have been interesting, but I mean, like, we have a lot of Darth Vader trauma, parental trauma going on, so I don't think we need that with her. But yeah, I like all of these. These are my favorite ones, definitely. These ones, they make sense, but I'm not too over the moon about them. My voice cracked. These make sense. It's like a playing it safe theory. Like, I think people would have been happy with these. And then these are my personal favorites. And then we have the weird ones that could make sense if done right. Maybe they wouldn't make sense at all, but they're weird and I like them. These ones, they're weird and I don't like them. These ones, I don't like them at all. So that's what I came up with. So this is my tier list for Rey's parentage. Let me know if I missed any Rey parent theories that you like in here, or leave a comment on how you would rank these. That's all I have for today. Please let me know how you would rank Rey's parents' theories. Please share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for joining me today, and may the Force be with you.